Okay, so today we're going to do probably the last garden tour that we can before the frost. I think that we potentially got a frost last night, and so we will find out together if that killed anything. Not sure. I'm looking around, I don't see anything that has been killed immediately, but we will see what's going on. This will probably be the last garden tour of the season just because the frost is imminent at this point and we potentially got a frost last night. So I'm going to walk you through each bed and tell you what I have planted there, and some of the areas are, I don't know exactly what variety, but I will tell you generally what is there. Okay, so entering through the garden gate, we have the loofah that is over the arbor. There's also a rose right here. So this is the rose. If you go back in my videos, you will see it. It's beautiful, pink rose, and it was all over the arbor in my old garden. And then we also have, so we have the loofah starting right here, and then the loofah goes all the way up over the trellis. And then if we come around, we have asparagus, and I had flowers in here as well. I way over planted this bed. And then we had some volunteer tomatoes in here. So right now it is asparagus, loofah vine, a rose, and weeds. So then here we have celery in the front that Courtney gave me. Ooh, that feels really cold. Like it's frozen. I think it froze last night. We've got carrots all along the outside edge here, which I do need to thin. We have dinosaur kale or Lasiano kale, probably very well mispronouncing that, but that's okay. Butter crunch lettuce, romaine lettuce. There was supposed to be another romaine, I think it was a red romaine in here, but it's not, hasn't germinated. And then we have kale. I think, what is this, curly leafed kale? I don't know. If you're watching, if you'll put in the comments what exactly the variety is. Courtney started these from seed. I have various kinds of beets. This was one of those oops situations where they got mixed up. I know I have like mini beets or like baby beets in here, as well as I think Detroit red beets. Excuse the diesel dually that just drove by. This is Swiss chard, the rainbow variety. So you see how it's yellow and red and pink. These are also beets with a little stray radish in there that actually looks like it's about ready to be harvested. So these are all beets, all the way down to another Swiss chard family. And then at the end, we have more of the same dinosaur kale. Although I don't know why this end is doing better than the other end. And then in here is supposed to be spinach, but only a couple of them have germinated. I did plant some more, but I don't see any of it coming up. And then we have a volunteer poppy that I dug up from a different bed. Marigold that I dug up from a different bed. And then in the middle here, this gloriousness, they are radishes. And I forget the variety, but they are looking so good. Look at that. Ooh, they feel quite crispy. Oh, guys, we definitely got a frost. But radishes are frost hardy, so they should be okay. Everything in this bed looks okay. So that is it for that bed. And then if we turn around here, we have random stuff in the garden bed, apparently. I have one child who is very into bugs, and so oftentimes I find bug containers everywhere. So here we have a lot of this that Courtney started for me. We have, I think this is broccoli, it looks like, based on the leaf, and a child tried it, which is excellent. I'm okay with that. We have cabbage. I'm actually going to move down this way and start at this end so that I'm not in front of the sun, because the sun just makes it way more glorious. So this is, again, celery. And we have garden pests. Oh, I dropped it. This is a different kind of broccoli, I think. I think this is, as my mom calls it, like the alien broccoli. Something has really been eating on this one. I don't know whether it's going to thrive. But these are all broccolis. And cabbage. Oh, this one's really getting eaten. That is most likely going to ruin my harvest, but I'm going to leave this here because hopefully this will be the trap plant. For whatever reason, this plant is getting eaten more. Maybe it's just a little bit weaker. I'm going to leave it. All of them have a little bit of damage on them, but I'm going to leave it. And I've been coming along and I've actually been taking these bottom yellow leaves off. I don't know if that's exactly necessary, but I've been doing it. So cabbages are all along the front. And then, oh look, we've got cauliflower heading up, which is so exciting. I'm gonna need to keep my eye on this because it's been really warm. And so that could potentially be going to seed pretty quickly. I believe all of these are cauliflower, but I don't know why some of them are heading up and some of them aren't. They might be different varieties. Here's more kale, looking incredible. Just beautiful. Look at that. Texture of it is so inspiring. The goats are hungry, yelling at us. More kale. And then back here in the back are Brussels sprouts. Once again, these were all started by Courtney. Brussels sprout right there and right here. And Courtney, I think, told me these were red Brussels sprouts, but I don't remember. I really don't care. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. Praise God for beautiful things to look at. We're gonna go around my trellis. Don't mind that. Courtney started this little chamomile lovely for me, and I'm letting it just get a little bit bigger before I uproot it. She also gave me this dill, which is here at the end. We'll just pick that off. We have another poppy here, another little kale plant, dill, and then all of this is peas, which is so exciting. And they're just about long enough, tall enough to be able to put up on the trellis. I'm gonna let them get just a little bit bigger before I try to attempt that, because they're just not long enough. So that is it for that bed. This bed is so glorious. I mean, all of them are glorious. And I love how the garden is glorious in different ways. You know, each bed just has its gloriousness. And yes, I did just overuse the word glorious, but you know, when the shoe fits, wear it. Okay, so then there's nothing in this bed yet. I just put that in, and it's actually just a little kid digging spot. Right here is, oh, look. So pretty. Okay, so right here, there is, let me even try to, oh look, there are tomatoes. That's amazing. I did not even know those were there. Okay, get ready. I'm going to use the word glorious again because that's pretty glorious. Okay, so right here, this used to be a garden bed. Then I was going to try to do some Hugel culture on it. Probably very well mispronounced that as well. So I piled up some sticks and just kind of random yard debris in that spot, and then I put the dirt, the soil that came from underneath the chickens on it, and I don't know how these tomatoes got here. I forget. Somehow the tomatoes got there. I mean, they're definitely volunteers. I did not plant those, even a little bit. So I really don't know how those got there, but I'm glad they did. So this is kind of just a messy looking mound right now that I am not a fan of. And within the near future, I'm going to do something about. This is one of the places where I will most likely build a garden bed when I get some more cinder blocks. But it's just going to take some cleaning up. And I'm not super looking forward to that. So we're going to come around. Actually, let's go to this bed first. Isn't that just amazing? I'm just going to let you look at it for a moment. Just take it all in. This Cosmo and the combination of colors between the Cosmo and the Celosia or the plume mix, and then the height of the goldenrod, and when the goldenrod was in bloom, it was just, I mean, it's just still incredible. So we're gonna come and look here. I've just plopped in a bunch of different things, as well as I have lots of different little friends in here. Hi, friend. You make me happy. What are you doing? Hopefully you're not a garden pest. Okay, so I just plopped little leftover kale plants in here. I've got volunteer chamomile from last year kind of coming up all through this bed, which makes me so happy. I am here for it. Then we have some cauliflower, which has a nice head on it, although it is looking a little bit like it's opening, so I really need to keep an eye on that because I want to catch it before it goes to seed. And then here, I don't know if you guys are able to see that spider web right there. She's been trying to catch me for weeks. And I walk into it every time. It never fails. So here we have Celosia or plume mix. I know that this comes in many, or I feel like this has many names. I hope you guys can hear me okay over the goats screaming in the background. Hopefully you enjoy that kind of thing. So then we have, this isn't in bloom anymore, but it was absolutely beautiful when it was in bloom. This is some kind of hibiscus that my grandmother-in-law gave me, and it has just become huge. I will leave it there. Oh, the goats are being fed now, so they should be good. Well, maybe not. So then here, there's just a bunch of different stuff. And I think these are like a wildflower mix. I let my kids plant a bunch of seeds in here in the spring. So there could be just a whole bunch of stuff coming up in here. And so I'm leaving it. And then I have basil. I'm gonna walk under the spider web and hope not to get a face full of it. I'm gonna come around here. So I have basil here, which I really would like to make some basil salt with. And then the goldenrod is looking incredible. And it's kind of just cascading down here as well. And then more Cosmo and some more plume mix that volunteered in the ground. And then coming around here, we have more basil and what is it called? Marigold, which is just so pretty. I think these are the little French marigolds. I think that's the variety that I planted here. And I have quite a few of them here, and I might transplant them. Maybe not, because I don't want to mess them up. But those are just so pretty. I love these. I think they are my favorite marigold as of right now. So then I have some more cauliflower, I think. Some volunteer zinnias, which are kind of on their way out, but they're still beautiful. And I'm now just seeing that I have yet another volunteer tomato happening in this bed. It is putting on some blooms. I don't know how far that will get because frost is imminent / potentially already happened. Some kind of wildflower. You guys may know this. I think I know what it is. Well, I know what the flower looks like. I don't know what it is called. I have some chive here. And I actually dug up some of this to give to Courtney because the ants had almost killed it. And then we have more marigold here at the end. Ooh, and look, this Cosmo comes all the way back over here and originates down here. That's how big the Cosmo tree is. Oh, isn't that so pretty? Such goodness. Oh, look, another little hoverfly. I love these guys. See if I can zoom in on it. There he is. He's a little bug on a little flower. So pretty. And then look at the detail on the leaves as well. Really love Cosmos. In my personal opinion, they're a must-have in the garden. So this is the back end of this bed. It's so big, it's so hard to capture in one shot, but I'll walk you around the front as well and you can see it again in all its gloriousness. Ooh, if I don't, I have to go to the ER first because I tripped on something. Okay, here we go. You see how far away I am from it in order to get the full effect. But it's just so pretty. This view is one of Courtney and my favorites. We just stand here in awe in the beauty that is this while I swap up bugs. Okay, so now we're gonna walk back over here. And this bed is has been abandoned this year. But I chose to actually plant my Cleo willow here. This is one of the Cleo willow's babies, actually. So my Cleo willow is actually up here in the front yard. And my Rottweiler is buried underneath that tree. Her name was Cleo, or Cleopatra. That's why it's called the Cleo willow. And I took these little cuttings off of her and started them, and they're doing really well. And so I had it in this pot and it was just sitting here, and so of course it grew through the hole in the pot and into the ground. And I thought, you know what, I really considered it for a couple weeks, and I said to myself, I think I would really enjoy having a willow right here in this garden. Okay, so like this is where I am, like this is my garden shed. It's a bit of a disaster, but that's okay. It's a work in progress, constant work in progress. So I thought, how beautiful would it be to have a willow tree here, and I have all of that to grow my garden out. And so having some shade right here where this could be potentially a sitting spot underneath a willow tree, I thought would be really cool. So this bed doesn't really have a whole lot in it. It still has a bunch of volunteer tomatoes. Actually, I think one of my kids planted this tomato at the beginning of the season, and it's now just starting to take off because it doesn't have any competition. I came in and I weeded, I came in and I weeded this bed because this had just grown up over it. So I did weed it a little bit. I do have some goldenrod in there. And then this bed is the one that we harvested the soil off of, and you saw me harvesting the gladiolus bulbs, and it makes the perfect little parking spot for my lawnmower. So that is that section, and I'm hoping that it's going to look a little bit more cleaned up here in the very near future because it kind of bugs me, if I'm being honest. I'll just give you another little shot. Does anybody know what this plant is? It grows as a weed here. I didn't plant this, but I just think that it is so pretty. I love daisy-like flowers, and this is just covered in them around this time of the year. And I think I might try to harvest the seed from it and plant it intentionally, but I don't know. It's pretty hardy. So then, if we walk over here, we have what I'm gonna call for right now, the U-pick bed. I do have stuff in these. I don't remember what it is. Actually, I don't think I have anything in that. I had mint in here, although I think it dried out and it's probably dead now, but I don't know. Mint is pretty hardy, so it could potentially come back. It could have just gone dormant, so we'll see. So here, there's really not a whole lot. I have the rosemary that I planted, and then gladiolas that have volunteered and I've planted. And we have this goldenrod. And look how this goldenrod is seeding itself. So it's actually broken itself off and it's getting its seeds as close to the ground as it can. How cool is that? I think that is incredible. So just continuing on, zinnia volunteers, which will probably soon pass away with the frost, although it's trying its best. It's teeny. It's not even the size of my hand. More gladiolas. And I don't know if these are gonna do anything, but these are like clearance, what are they? Hydrangeas from Walmart. And I'm thinking that this soil might be too rich and acidic for them, or not acidic enough. Well, there's another one right there, but may the odds be ever in their favor. We'll see how they do. So there's really nothing else in here. Some irises down here at the end. So that is the U-pick garden as of right now. So this one is just going to sleep for the winter. So that is where the garden is as of right now. I'm so excited about it. It looks beautiful and it's really starting to come together, and I love how much of a work in progress it is, and just really looking forward to working on it. I'm really enjoying working on it, and like working on it at a slow pace. Not a slow pace, but not a rushed pace, I should say. So I'm leaving this unmulched because that's going to be another garden bed. Sorry, I think ants are biting my feet. I keep stepping. There's an ant hill or home down here somewhere, but it's not apparent. I don't see any ant hill. And so I keep stepping in them and getting bitten. It's quite offensive. Okay, sorry, just got bitten by a mosquito. I'm kneeling down here by this Cosmo so that you guys have something absolutely beautiful to look at as I talk. That's it for the garden tour this time. Most likely we'll conclude at least the garden tour right now. Somebody just drove by. It's definitely awkward being a content creator and like talking to your phone. Okay, back to what I was saying. This is most likely the last time the garden is going to look like this. We have a 39-degree day on the forecast, I think early next week. Typically for my property, that means it's going to get colder. So this is the way that it's going to look. I don't think that this is going to be like this for very long, and so we're just going to enjoy it as it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this little garden tour, garden walkthrough. I will see you next time.